You know, Popeye was almost Mickey Mouse. That is, in terms of video games. I mean, no cartoon has ever had as much success in video games as Mickey Mouse. But if things had been a little different, Popeye might have. See, when Nintendo started working on the game that became Donkey Kong, they actually intended to make a Popeye game. In fact, if they could have gotten the licensing sorted out, Donkey Kong would have been Popeye. One of the greatest games ever would have been Popeye. Oh, it might have been. Anyway, it's funny how things work out sometimes. And for Popeye, maybe a little cruel. A game that was meant for him went on to change the landscape of the industry forever. And the game he did get, 1982's Popeye, became little more than a footnote. An interesting footnote, but a footnote nonetheless. And after that, Popeye sort of lifted anchor. He didn't do much more in video games. And what he did do, games like Popeye Rush for Spinach, not even interesting footnotes. Of course, if there's anything interesting about this game, it's the genre. I mean, Rush for Spinach is kind of a runner. Like, years before runners would become popular. Playing as either Popeye, Olive Oil, Wimpy, or Bluto, you just run. It's basically a racing game as a platformer. You have to beat the other characters to the finish line. It's that simple. And it's a fun idea for a game based on a cartoon. It's just, well, the gameplay could have used a little spinach too. But I guess the biggest problem here is the viewpoint. The camera is just way too tight to see what's coming. It's like, if you can imagine playing a racer where you can't really see what's on the track ahead. It's like a surprise. That's Rush for Spinach. By the time you actually see the obstacles, a lot of times it's too late to actually jump over them. That alone kind of ruins the game. You know, another big problem is the level design. They're really big. Like, they have a lot of different paths and stuff. But all that really means is you end up losing track of your opponents. Levels are so big, and the camera's so tight, it's sort of a guessing game in terms of where everyone's at. There are also parts where you have to backtrack. Like, oh, there's a locked door, and you have to go back and unlock it to keep going. And that feels totally out of place in a game like this. But I think the real shame is that beneath all the issues, there's some good stuff here. The game has plenty of different modes, including a full story mode. And if you want to play single races instead, you have options there too. Quick rush mode, challenge mode, time rush mode. There's really no shortage of ways to play this thing. There's even a team rush mode, which supports link play for multiplayer. And actually, the best thing about Rush for Spinach is how it looks. I mean, the view may be too close, but the view is pretty. The sprites are just fantastic. They're detailed, they're super colorful. The animations are awesome too. And the same goes for the backgrounds. The courses all have different environments, and they never fail to impress. You can tell a lot of effort went into the presentation. The graphics, the sound, the music. It's all top-notch stuff. But unfortunately, as pretty as all these things are, you still can't see what matters. That's the thing, it's nice to look at, lousy to play. Kind of a tough break for poor old Popeye, but then again, it's not like he isn't used to it. After all, when it comes to video games, Popeye's always had bad luck. And in Rush for Spinach, it's one thing he can't run from.